Today we're talking about a special service for the medical community offered by Roberts Brothers. Kevin Loper is joining us. She specializes in helping residents coming to work at the University of South Alabama hospitals. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And so starting off first, tell me a little bit about what it is that you do with Roberts Brothers.
I'm a residential realtor. We sell residential homes. You do a little bit of commercial, but I probably do way more residential than commercial. I've been doing it for 37 years, so I've been around a while.
Well, that's wonderful. And so now you are working in a specialization, and that has to do with our local hospitals. And so what does that look like?
University Hospital has residents and fellows, and there's over 300 of them that are there, and they get a new class every year and another class graduates, kind of thing. But there's residents and fellows, and there's over 20 programs that they can be a resident or fellow. Internal medicine, there's 20 of them, and they're all different years. Some of them are 3 years. They'll be here 3 years. Occasionally somebody's only here for a year, but usually it's 3 years or more. Some of them are 4 and 5 years residencies, and then they'll do a fellowship, which can be 1 to 3 years after their residency. So this is all after med school.
Wow.
They finish med school and then they start a residency.
And so I know as a young professional, you really have to gauge of what is my housing situation going to look like? Am I here for the short term? Am I here for the long term? And so that's where you come into play, answering all of these questions. And so what are some of the different housing options that Roberts Brothers offers for them?
Well, they can buy a house, they can rent a house, they can get an apartment, and I help them with all of that. They're all different walks of life, just like any cross-section of America. Some of them are single, some of them are married, some of them have kids that need schools. So you have a little bit of everything. It really just depends on what people need that year when they come.
And so how can folks get involved with reaching out to you, finding more information about yourself, plus also some of these housing options for them?
You know, I do everything: emails, phone numbers, phone calls. I still believe big in talking on the phone. I think it's much more helpful sometimes than multiple texting. I'm not as fast as my daughter, who's also a realtor, but so to me it's easier to have a conversation, and you get voice inflection and stuff like that, so I think that's real important.
It is.
But you know, that they usually can get my information from the hospitals, the departments. The internal medicine department is probably who I've helped as much as anybody, and that's probably the biggest department there. They've got over 60 residents. So, but they give out my information when somebody comes in for an interview. They tell them, Kevin can help you find someplace to live. You know, which is the idea. They would like them settled by the time they get here. They start on July 1st every year.
Oh, wow.
So they match. It's a computer match. And in March, it's usually around St. Patrick's Day, and they're at their med schools, and they put down their choices for where they want to do their residency, and the hospitals do the same, and then a computer matches them. So they don't even know where they're going to go till March, which I think would be very stressful, because they're finishing med school, but they don't know where they're going to go.
They don't know where they're going to go until March. And so that's where you come into play, make it extremely simple. And so if folks want to find more information, of course they can go through that. As always, they can go through our website as well. We'll have all of this on our website, fox10tv.com, under the Studio 10 tab, along with Kevin's information. But thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.